After countless hours of grinding, testing, and experimenting in Rainbow Six Siege, I've put together the most unique tip for every single operator in the entire game. Now, I genuinely spent an entire month just to make sure this video was the best I could possibly make it. So let's hit the biggest goal of my career of 13 likes. Also, I've got timestamps in the description if you're wanting a specific operator. And while you're down there, we have a Discord if you're a chud and want to join it. Now, enough yapping. This is the finale of Siege's one tip for every operator. Alright, first up, we got Amaru.
Don't play her! Please! Please!
But if you're still gonna play her, even after your teammates beg you not to, it's better to bust through windows and doors and stuff that are on the same level as you, compared to like Cafe, where the window that you're gonna bust through is 3 floors above you as you're on the ground. It just gives less time for the opposition to be able to react. Don't play her though, please.
Did you know you can end Dokkaebi's calls faster? I'm gonna show a side-by-side comparison with the right side being the normal call duration. Right when Dokkaebi takes her thumb off of the iPad, let go of whatever key or button you press to start the call. Also, I don't care if you're on keyboard and mouse, I'll still carry you in ranked, or 1v1 or whatever.
Now, Goyo's secondary gadgets are honestly not the best, but I will be honest, when I play Goyo, I do this. Like, seriously. Now, I put this Goyo and procs here just to show what it looks like from the side, and as you can see, you can shoot the proximity mine out pretty easily. But straight up, looking directly at the Goyo, it makes it difficult for the enemy to decide whether or not they want to break the Goyo. Either way, you know the Goyo's gonna get broken, but that's the whole point of his ability anyways. When Nook's ability is active, you can shoot and walk straight through Alibi prisms, and you won't get pinged. This means you can ignore her setup completely and use it against her. If you didn't know, Nomad's air jabs are able to blow up from the opposite side of a soft wall. Just punch a hole into the wall and aim the air jab to where the putty is on the side, and then the actual air jab is directly in the middle of the hole. On the opposite side of the wall, imagine there's a claymore laser sticking straight through the hole but double the size. Dubs. With Capitao's smoke bolt, you can create a one-way smoke and get the advantage on defenders. The smoke sticks to any surface that you shoot at, so you want to shoot it a couple meters above the opposition. This causes the opponent's lower body from your point of view to be visible, to where their POV is that they're completely blind from the inside of the smoke. This example is on border armory, like main breach, but this will apply to any map. The smoke just has to be low enough to be covering the opponent's head. With Echo getting an extra drone, this tip becomes even more viable. This spot is the most known, so if you have never done this, it's a great spot to start just to learn this tech. Right after the drone phase, attackers will be on their way to rappel up and start opening main breach. Use an impact to open the soft wall, and then kill them before they make it all the way up the wall.
Don't you love when you get cucked by a buck by playing on site like a schmuck, and it makes you want to throw your Xbox in a garbage truck? You stupid little fuck. The best way to get an edge on the opposition is by creating phantom pressure. Now imagine someone was playing Vert on you from above and also below. Now that's something I've never seen before. Use this tech to spit roast the enemy combatants in your next game. They won't even see it coming.
For this castle tech, you're going to need to prep a barricade. If you didn't know, it takes 8 hits to prep a castle barricade. I think you can see where this is going. The whole point of this is to catch opponents off guard. You can do this for a plant, you can do this for someone running through somewhere. In this example, they're planting a bomb because it looks better.
Now for Melusi, you can do this tech tip including Goyo. By placing them down at the same exact time, the Melusi will get covered by the Goyo, and the only way to break the Melusi is if they shoot at the Goyo. Meaning, a bunch of time gets wasted, W's all around the board.
Now I have 2 tips for Fuze, so let me cook real quick. By pairing Fuze with Osa, you can place Fuze charges on her clear shield. This works for doors, windows, literally anywhere. Just make sure you don't sit near it, otherwise you'll die. Tip numero dos. If you have defuse going off, place a clear shield near it and then place a fuse on that. Make sure to punch it, otherwise you'll be able to see the charge from the opposite side. Once the enemy starts defusing, you can ignite the fuse charge and they'll either get off of defuse or die. Did I cook? Or no. Have you ever thought about putting Lesion mines on windows? Not only does this break the window, but the people who are on rappel, as long as they don't see the goo mine, which, let's be honest, who's going to expect a goo mine on the outside of a window? Attackers, they're not able to take the goo mine out while on rappel, and you sitting on a window near them can jump out and pop them. I am not a Blackbeard player, and that is why I have a scope on his gun and no laser sight. Don't come at me. Literally, I'm just playing him to show off some tech, so bear with me. Now, pro Blackbeard players, aka Gold 3 players, will aim at the ceiling. then come down when they ADS. The reason for this is to give less time for the opposition to headshot them. Here's a little comparison of the two. If you use this tech because you main Blackbeard, I hope you never get out of gold. I hate you.
I personally like using Osa as flank watch. To do this, you're gonna need claymores, by the way, so make sure you bring them. But all you gotta do is place your Osa on a doorway and then punch it. And then you gotta place the claymore to where the lasers don't stick out too far, to where the flankers see the lasers. But I've got numerous kills from using this tech, so try it out for yourself. Super easy to do.
What you need to keep in mind about Fenrir's FNATs is that they need to be in line of sight with the enemy. It doesn't matter if someone's inside the activation radius. Even if they're close enough, the trap will not activate unless it can physically see them. So if you place it around a corner, behind a doorway, etc., it won't work until the enemy actually comes into view. And another bit of knowledge to remember is that FNATs activate from the head down. Because of that, one of the best ways to place them is at foot level. When you put them low, enemies have to crouch and look down to shoot them, which pulls their aim away from where you're swinging from, and that makes them a lot harder to deal with in a fight.
If you're ever able to stand underneath the main breach, bring Zofia. You can cancel Bandit out of his animation while he's trying to bandit trick. Just impact the ceiling, and then just keep on concussing bro as he tries to place his gadget. He's cooked. He's not going to be able to do nothing.
Now this tech can be done with any operator, but with Aruni's Mega Fister, this can be done super easily and you lose nothing. Just punch 2 holes in the wall, place the gadget right in the middle. I prefer to do this with a bulletproof camera since it's in Aruni's loadout, but to maximize the fisted area, place a Maestro cam. They aren't able to be blown out with Ash or Kali unless they use 2 of their explosives, so it's a dub. Also, you can put your Arunis on rotates. I don't see that enough.
Here's a frost tip most players know, but don't take advantage of. Stop placing your mats in the most obvious spots. Everyone expects them under windows or right beside doorways, and that's the first places people will check. Instead, get creative with your placements. Put them behind cover, or in spots where players naturally step on without thinking. Here on Nighthaven in Electric, there's this shadow. Rarely have people noticed the frost mat, because most of the time, they're too busy aiming at the doorway, looking into sight. And finally, when you're making rotates, make sure they're vaultable. If you leave the bottom part intact, you can place a frost mat on the rotate, and most players, including myself, forget there's frost mats when I'm focused on a 1v1 post-plant situation.
What I've learned about people is that most of them are know-it-alls. You can tell them the most groundbreaking advancement, like the invention of the stop sign, and then they'll act like they already know about what you're telling them. That same thing goes for this Kapkan tech. Place Kapkans on doors that are next to pipes. Stop sign. Jager's a pretty straightforward op. None too special about him. You place this thing, breaks projectiles, and then, you know, comes back to life or whatever. His tip that I got for Jager, after you place down his projectile breaker, pick it back up and place it back down again. Normally, without picking it up and placing it down, it takes 10 seconds. And obviously the situation you're in can vary on if this is a smart thing to do or not. But if you have the opportunity to pick up your Jager and place it down again, you'll go from 10 seconds to about 6 to 7 seconds.
Oh, 6, 7, no.
Like I mentioned earlier, one of the only ways to make Maverick viable is combining him with Glaz. I lied to you. Bring a shield op. I prefer Monty with this tech. But you want to burn a hole in the wall and then have Monty aim in and lean left or right, whatever's more comfortable for you. Now, Maverick can look through this hole freely and Monty will stare at a wall for the next 20 seconds. Dubs. Too many times have I seen Wamais get placed near other gadgets. A grenade gets thrown, the Wamai picks it up, and it breaks everything, including the other gadgets around the Wamai. Can we please spread out Wamais and think before we place? One thing you can do with a Wamai, place Wamais near the pipes. The thing will be thrown near the pipe, and if it is an explosive, it'll blow up the pipe. Free kills. I love Wamai so much. I just wish people would be more smart when playing him. I really wish they would. Grim's like the middle child. No one cares about him. Even though he got a buff, I'll still stand on the best tip for Grim is just not to play him. There are people like Sledge and Buck that have similar roles with each other, but one of them is obviously better. But compared to Grim and Capitao, who have similar roles of helping keep defenders off of the area for wherever your team is planting defuse, Capitao's just better. So, there you go. Best tip for Grim is just don't play him. He's so mid.
My biggest tip for Twitch is just make sure you're actually using all of her drones every round, otherwise you're wasting her full potential. Think of your drones in roles. Use some to clear important utility, and use the rest to set up inside sight as extra cameras for your team. If you keep them alive and spread them out, you can have constant info during the round instead of swinging blind. Also, your laser has basically unlimited range. You can literally sit on the opposite side of the map and still take things out. Literally as long as your drone has line of sight.
I'm saying this now. If you don't know this trick, you have a long way to go, bro. This is one of the most basic tips that you should know. And I'm throwing it in here because there's quite a bit of people that don't know it. With your bandits, place them as far as you can from each other. This makes it more difficult for them to EMP. Now, unless they play Thatcher, they're going to have to EMP specifically one side, meaning you have the chance to react and electrify the wall again before they try and EMP the opposite side.
Why are Doc mains always roaming off of sight? Why do they never heal their teammates? Why do they always save their stems for themselves? I don't understand. Your whole role is keeping your team alive. I'm glad you don't got ACOG anymore. If you didn't know, also, you got infinite range with the stems. So you being across the map should not be an excuse for why you can't heal your teammates. Please heal your freaking teammates. It's not hard. It's not difficult, bro. You're gonna survive with not having 6 HP in your health bar. There is no more basic operator than Striker. Their entire gimmick is that they're able to carry 2 secondary gadgets. If you're more of a kill everybody and win type of guy, run flashes and grenades. Just flash the enemy and then nade them. But if you're someone like me who likes to win by outplaying the enemies, you want to run hard breaches and EMPs. There's only one other operator that can breach by themselves, and that's this next one after this small clip gets done. Let's go.
And Zero is that operator. What would you know? Who do you think you are? I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm yapping about. Zero is the only other one that can solo breach, reinforced, electrified, soft wall, whatever. I don't know. Places cams better, please. I don't know. Zero's all right.
If you're an Alibi main, I hope this is common knowledge for you. If not, let me put you on real quick. What's wrong with this setup? I don't know, bro. I'm just kidding. I do know. Why? Because I set this up. He ran off. That wasn't supposed to happen. Anyways, make sure you have zero cosmetics on. If you blend in with your decoys, it adds a few milliseconds of the enemy questioning if you're possibly a decoy, like if you're holding an angle or something like that. I don't feel bad for people that bought her elite skin.
People I don't think see that Tachanka is actually a viable operator to play when you use him correctly. Everyone that plays him that I see, they see a person, bang, 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 bang. Oh my god, there's a guy, blah. What I'm showing on screen now is if you decided to spread out your Tachankas in a timely manner, you know, to actually block off a side to where they cannot push in that side until you're out of ammo. It will last. Whatever the timer says, I'm not going to tell you because I'm going to continue to increase my watch time. So, what's up, guys? How's your day going? My night is going good. It is 12 in the morning. I woke up at 5 p.m. 210 seconds. Keep in mind, a round lasts 3 minutes, so 90 seconds left to react. They're good.
I don't really see why Ashe is the basic rushing operator. Yeah, she's fast and has solid weapons, but I don't know. Everyone I see play Ashe, they just die off rip. But Ashe is actually a very good alternative for playing Vert. There's Ram, Buck, and Sledge, obviously, but some people aren't a fan of their weapons. So if you're more comfortable playing Ashe, consider trying a Vert play instead of wasting your utility on a barricade.
The biggest tip I have for Maestro is you need to ban Brava. If you're going to play Maestro, having a Brava as a possibility of, you know, going against you, never a good idea. You know, you're just helping out the enemy team if Brava is not banned. But, secondary tip. Did you know that Maestro is able to reactivate Aruni gates? It takes 30 seconds for Aruni's gates to become unbroken, you know, to get reactivated. Aruni and Maestro, W duo. But, top tier tip, ban Brava. If you don't, you're selling your team. Most of y'all run IQ for her gun, but if you for once activated a neuron in your smooth brain, you'd be able to see that her utility is actually pretty good. Take a gander at what's behind this wall. It's someone I have very strong opinions for. Hate, 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 double hate. I hate you. Yeah, it's Virgin. IQ is actually the only one who's able to see Vigil as his ability is activated. That's about it. I hate Vigil. Vigil players are chuds.
Now, a lot of people say that they know this tech. I don't think they do, because I never see it being utilized in games. When you're holding out a Candela in your hand, the 3 dots normally are far apart from each other. But once you get close to any soft wall, floor, or barricade, the dots close in with each other. Now all you gotta do is let go of the Candela and it'll automatically place and shoot through the wood. I would love to see this in more games. Please utilize this more. With Thatcher's buff, he's no longer a mouse. He's a man.
You, can do what I did on screen.
You can electrify C4s, which is actually awesome. It could obviously happen before, but now you can do it on purpose. You know, like you can time it. So try this for when you're going for defuse. Get rid of the C4s. Now, D-Bird is a basic operator. You know, she's got her heal stations, she's got her loadout, nothing too crazy that you can really do with her. So the tip for her that I'm going to be giving you guys today is if you're playing a site where they're possibly going to play Vert, or you know, there's the potential of them playing Vert, play T-Bird.
With people up on Vert, it makes it difficult for operators to go out of their way to help their teammates. With heal stations being around site, you know, it makes it easier for people to decide when they want to do stuff, you know, timing and stuff like that. You know, screw my tip, never mind. I would much rather have a heal station that I get to decide when I heal myself compared to having to knife and beg somebody to heal me. That might just be me though. Have you ever thought about using an impact grenade to break Skopos' shield? The difference in how loud you are when switching robots is actually a pretty big difference. Keep in mind you will take slight damage from breaking her shield, but also keep in mind you're playing Skopos for some reason. She really needs a buff, and that's coming from a guy who who really likes playing her. She needs a buff really badly. I love her, but she sucks.
Everyone knows you can play Glaz with Maverick. It's like the only way to play them effectively. But the biggest tip I have with Glaz is that you need to play him more aggressively. He does around 70 damage to the body, which means it's a 2-shot kill almost every time. So instead of sitting back and holding angles all around, you should be taking more fights, because if you can hit your shots, you'll win, unless they get a lucky headshot. What's up, bro? It's 5 a.m. finishing up the video. I forgot to add this, but this is my roommate. He's doing shields because he's shield main.
Hey guys, I'm a D1 Monty main, and I have over 3 million hours playing Shield, so I'm here to give you a couple tips. First off is just turtle planting. You're basically immune to dying, except for if they have a C4, but good thing I have a tip for that. Now, before going in for the plant, you want to have them throw their C4s at you. So when they do inevitably do that, you want to full extend and look directly at the C4. That's how you take the least amount of damage. And if they're playing below, just plant on top of a desk or a cabinet or something so that the C4 can't touch you. Now in a 1v1 post-plant situation, you want to basically stay full extended the entire time. They literally cannot do anything about it. They can punch you a little bit. They're not going to be able to kill you because you literally have a fucking brick wall attached to the front of your body. So for a 1v2 plus post-plant scenario, it's basically the opposite. You do not want to be full extended, because if one of them start punching you, you'll get stuck in the animation. You're not able to unextend, and the other one will come up behind you and tickle your fucking colon. And trust me, this is not fun.
If you ever see smoke on the defender's team, do not pick Finka. I'll do another side-by-side comparison, but as you can see, it's not a huge difference, but it is still a mechanic in the game. When Finka's ability is activated, ops breathe faster, so like IRL, you would inhale farts faster. Like I said, it's not a big difference, but kind of cool.
Smoke's a very simple operator, cut off angles and deny plants. But what a lot of people don't realize is that after his smoke bombs detonate, they make a lot of noise. You can use this to your advantage by popping a smoke and then going for a rotator or a flank or something like that. This can get you out of a pinch and possibly the reason you swing and clutch around. People tend to underestimate how loud gadgets can be, and Smoke's gadget is one of them. So you know how Oryx is able to bust through soft walls and furniture and stuff like that? Well, this actually goes for shields as well. I did not know this because no one ever uses shields. So if you want to have a little Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare, just play Oryx and place a shield. Look at this, ready?
Anytime I see a good Ela player, they're always holding on to their concussion mines. Just like Thorn, the timing for when they blow up after they're placed is pretty quick. So using them against shield rushes or just 1v1s in general, it gives you the upper hand, you know, because concussed.
When playing Denari, don't just throw your lasers randomly and hope they do something. Instead, you want to use long angles so they travel and connect with each other. Do this to block doorways, rotates, etc. On Canal, this is the greatest Denari setup so far on any ranked map that I have seen, so I'm going to show it. Also, maximum span for connecting lasers is 20 meters. I thought I'd throw that in here. 2 lasers will go in radar room. This will cut off main breach. 3 will go in server room, and these will be the connecting lasers in between the 3 connections. So if these break, they all will get shut down. Make sure these stay alive. To do this, reinforce the soft walls before placing them, or reinforce from the opposite side of these 2 soft walls. The final 2 will go in the corner next to the hatch. From my experience, Habana is the best way to counter this setup, because not only can she get main breach, but also the 2 simple pellets. So you want a banner or double up wall denial with both Bandit and Gate. A lot of players don't realize this, but you can use your secondary shotgun to open up the floor and then play vertical with Jackal's scanner. Break the floor where you think someone is, then scan for footprints on the level below you. Important detail, you can only see footsteps on floors below you and not through ceilings, so don't waste your time trying to do this the other way around. Also, remember Jackal now, when you scan, you only get a single ping, not multiple for 3 seconds. I know you've gotten killed by the little stinkers Glaz and Mav on main breach. Them together is low-key the only viable way to play those operators, and it's funny because one of the most sweatiest people can counter both of them at once. Tube's ice canisters shut down Glaz's thermal scope as long as he's standing inside the icy area. If you haven't tried out Tube before, I'm telling you, bro, try him. He's so much fun.
Place your Rook armor down. Place it down, please. Stop waiting for the last 10 fucking seconds of the fucking drones round to play. Tech tip 2, when you place your Rook armor on the ground, it makes it easier for attackers to steal it. Place it on something like this. Fuck you. When you're placing Cade's claws anywhere, try to place it as far back as possible. Here's a little measurement showing the farthest they can possibly go. Do this so then they have to get a perfect EMP to disable your Cade. Do you guys remember the tech where you could place Ram's breacher machine thing on a ledge and then you could get like a pixel peek underneath the wheels? Yeah, they patched that. So that's really cool. Sorry, Ram Mins, but all I can say for her is remember her breacher machine thing can break literally anything it runs into. So for instance, like Melusi's barbed wire and shields, literally anything. So she's more than just break ceiling. She's more than that. Did you know with Habana, using only 4 pellets, you can make a perfectly crouchable rotate? Just line up the bottom left pellet with the bottom left anchor on the reinforced wall. The amounts of rotates you can make with this tech is actually kind of crazy. Just be mindful if you make the rotate too high up or too low off the ground, you won't be able to walk through. Just like Ella, hold a few thorn traps throughout the match. If you don't, you're selling. What I mean is with her kind of recent buff, her traps were very quick to activate. When throwing a thorn, it now only takes about 1 second for it to activate. Before, it was about 4 seconds. On top of that, the time it takes for it to go off is 1 second, 35 milliseconds, something like that. She still isn't a top tier trapper in my opinion, but now she's actually kind of reliable. Also, keep in mind to have a thorn trap do max damage, the attacker has to be within 1 meter. So if you don't get what I'm trying to say for why you should hold on to a few thorn traps throughout the match, you're probably bronze or some. So I hope some of these tips from this goated video are helping you in the future to rank up faster. I will say I play Cav all the time. I love her, probably a little biased. She's great. Make sure you run the shotgun. Instead of the SMG, you 2-tap people. Once I switched to the shotgun, I was able to compete in close range. Also, you have the pistol for long range. Use it, not just when you have your ability activated.
Now, one of the biggest issues that I have with Pulse is that they throw the C4 and then they do nothing for the rest of the round. I don't like Pulse people, but if you're gonna play Pulse, use the shotgun. Not only if the C4 hits or misses, but you can continue to sit down below and still shoot people, whether or not you kill anyone because you're Pulse.
Then Solid Snake is so new and in my opinion pretty mid. I'm just going to talk about some things that you need to know for when you decide to try him out. And also, I'm saying he's mid because he doesn't add much with like the flow of the game, changing things up, and his entire character is just a crossover. I'm fine with skins being in crossovers, but an operator being a crossover, that shouldn't be a thing. Anyways, Solid Snake is basically built around intel and adapting during the game. His kit is he can take off operators' bodies, but he can't steal off defenders' bodies. This is pretty cool because it lets him build out an entire arsenal during the game. So the more the round develops, the more flexible he gets, which honestly is pretty cool. Just keep in mind that Mute, Vigil, and Alibi, these are the type of people that mess with the radar in different ways, and it only shows default cameras, not Defender gadget cams. So, sorry, this was a long bit, but I hope this helps a little. By pairing Rora with Thermite, you can break open walls that are electrified. Keep in mind, the door has to be pretty close to the reinforced wall, but if you have the chance to use Rora instead of, let's say, Thatcher for opening up an electrified wall, do it. Rora is an S tier operator, and I will die on that hill.
Lion is one of my most played attackers in my Siege career, and he's not a 3-speed operator, so using him to push right into sight because you feel cracked is not the move. Lion's secondary gadgets, though, they matter more compared to other operators because he specializes in intel and map control. His secondary gadget helps tremendously depending on what map you're on. For instance, on Outback, I play outside bathroom window. I run claymores because there is 3 windows enemies like jumping out of, and bringing flashes as I'm sitting outside these 2 windows for most of the round will not help much compared to claymores. Keep in mind what secondary gadgets you bring with really any operator, but especially Lion.
Sledge is a super simple operator, one of the easiest in my opinion. So for my most unique tip with Bro, try playing him on vert. But try throwing a grenade and then sledging it through the floor.
If you're playing under sight, this is huge. When they go for the defuse, pop your overclock and look for the diffuser signal through the floor. But before you throw your impact to cancel the plant, pay attention to the metal studs. You want the studs facing vertical from your POV. If it's horizontal, the explosion can get blocked or do less damage, and you might not even stop the plant. So line it up, studs facing vertically, and throw the impact. Then boom. Easy plant denial from below.
With Mozzie, save your utility for after the drone phase. During the prep phase, focus on shooting drones instead. It's way more important to remove attacker intel during the round than before it even starts. If you throw your pests too early, they'll either get shot or not get much value. Wait until attackers are actually pushing, and then place them where pressure is coming from so you have a higher chance of catching drones mid-round and denying info when it actually matters. I hope you like this little clip we got going on. We got like a little fight.
With Callie, my biggest tip is keep in mind you can destroy utility and one-shot barricades using your lance on her sniper. If you know there's something placed right behind a door or window or down a hallway or whatever, you can shoot your lance right at it and never even have to expose yourself because you have a sniper. This is really strong for clearing defender utility safely, especially early in the round. The tip is simple, but it's her sniper. Use it.
Hey guys, I'm the current running Minnesota State champ, and I'm here to teach you some stuff. First off, old Clash was better. You couldn't really do anything for your team, but also the enemy couldn't really do anything about you. And she was bald. But now for the reworked Clash, most people just sit and play her like she's Mira, where they just sit behind the shield, try and line up some headshots, and you can play her like that, but you can also use her to focus 1v1s if you are left by yourself because your team sucks. Now in a 1v2, 1v3, whatever scenario, you can place your shield on a side hallway and just turn the electricity on so that if anybody pushes that, they'll basically give you a notification that they're there. And while your shield's going over there, that makes it so that you can focus whatever other side, whatever other people you need to focus, so you're not having to focus on 5 different hallways at once. And now if they do push your shield, which let's be honest, who wants to push a Clash shield? In the rare case that they actually do, you basically get a notification that they're there because they'll start groaning and grunting, and you can just walk up and you can play that mirror gameplay that I was talking about before. Now you can use this in your next game that you play Clash, and you should be getting a lot of wins out of this. And I'm the Minnesota State champ, so put some respect on my name.
Whenever you throw out a fat gridlock tread on the ground, they cover a decent area. They're alright, but to make them fatter, throw them on top of a desk, or I guess anywhere that is off the ground. Gridlock will use her triple-decker toon to spread the tread's cheeks across a farther, larger area, making it more difficult for defenders to walk around them. Oh my god, she's so fat. Oh my god, she's so fat. Oh my god, she's so fat. Oh my god. She's so fat. When I see people play Sense, they normally just throw the projectors down a hallway or back and forth against walls, making like a zigzag. It's very counterintuitive because let's say, like in this example, you're facing an enemy from down a hallway. They can easily just shoot you right when you peek the corner. So if you're gonna play Sense, use math and trajectories and like banking stuff off of stuff just to get better angles for yourself, you know, where you're not dying. That Sense sucks.
If you're running Deimos and have teammates, make sure you're giving clear callouts for enemy positions. On the far left corner, there's actually an icon showing who you're scanning, along with the floor and the room they're in. Use that info to keep your teammate updated. Also, if you're new and still learning map locations, running Deimos can help you since it'll show extra location details on your screen, making it easier to call things out for your teammates in the future. Just make sure you're playing him in unranked for now, because with him, you're probably going to sell the game. No offense.
Alright, now I'm gonna briefly go over Mute's rework. Before it was anything technical, Mute just cucked it and was like, hey, you're not gonna be able to use this when you're around my Mute jammer. It was pretty OP. Technical things now only get jammed if there's some sort of connection involved. For instance, Thermite, he needs a connection between his breach charge and him basically blowing it up, right? Now, since the jammer is in between the signal, it doesn't work. But on the other side of this, Ace, there is no connection that's needed. He chucks this thing out and Mute's jammer does nothing against it.
You can also use Mute to counter people like Lion, Deimos, Nokk, Blitz, etc.
Guys, I'm so cooked. Sentry, same as Striker. Sorry, I can't give a good tip for bro. I'm so cooked right now. 2 secondary gadgets. Choose what you like to help the team.
Over the past few years, Iana has been nerfed a lot, especially after losing her frag grenade. So there really is not much of a reason to pick her over other operators right now. But if you are going to play her, you need to actually use her ability. Her hologram is basically an infinite drone, and it has a 20-second cooldown, so keep that in mind. That's what I'm showing on screen. But that means over the course of the round, you can use it over and over and over again. Also, you can use it to burn things like Aruni gates, Kapkans, and Elemines for free, which saves your team real utility. So if you are going to play Iana, get value out of that infinite drone every round. Otherwise, you're just playing a bad operator. Also, if you're liking the video, this did take a lot of time, so comment your social security numbers down in the comments. And if you want to join the Discord or follow me on my journey, all links are in the description. Thank you.
Thermite on Vert is something you should be using way more. On Coastline, there's 3 key spots where you can place your charge on the floor above site. 2 of them will let you break reinforced walls from below, even if they're electrified, and the 3rd spot is perfect for dealing with mirror setups, since you can destroy the reinforcement she's playing on without ever fighting her directly. Most players just try to open the wall normally, but using vertical Thermite, this lets you clear utility safely and open up site in a way defenders are not ready for. Oh, also, all these are vaultable. Just thought I would add that in there.
The easiest way for people to counter you playing Brava is, let's say you hack a Maestro, Melusi, Thorn, or literally anything in sight. The defenders can just throw an impact grenade and break whatever it is that you hack. It sucks it isn't as fun to play her like this, don't get me wrong, but start hacking default cameras instead of diving into sight and completely losing your drone. Or at the least, make sure you have a default cam or something before you go into sight, then at least your effort ain't for nothing.
I'm going to be showing the difference between a good warden and a bad warden. In this first clip, this guy's a bad warden. Can you guess why? Oh, you can't? You're probably a warden player. This is what happens when he uses glasses. You can see through stuff. Put your glasses on, warden, please. Use your ability.
When you're driving a Flores drone, remember you don't have to stay on the drone the entire time. If you hop off cams, the drone will keep moving forward until it detonates. You can use that to your advantage. Set the path, get off, and let it roll or whatever while you reposition. Alright, so for Ace, I got 2 tips for him. For the first one, if there's a reinforced electrified wall, and let's say Bandit playing on the other side, you know, Bandit tricking, put an Ace on an Osa shield. This will break a little hole in the reinforcement. So if you know where the battery is, this is a great way to break the Bandit, and then also break a hole into the reinforcement to where Bandit now cannot electrify the wall safely. And for this second tip, this is just good knowledge to know, but there's anchors in the reinforcement. So you want to throw your Ace on the 3rd anchor up. This will make a perfectly crouchable rotate. You don't need to vault. You don't need to do any of that. Hey, biggest tip. Stop putting your cams in obvious spots. It's really easy to counter Valk when most players just check the 4 corners of a room and they'll find your cam. Like, what are we doing? Start getting creative with your placements, please. Put them in spots people don't normally look. Put them in cluttered. Tuck them into objects. I don't know. You can also place them a little lower or in unexpected angles so they blend in and they're harder to notice if you didn't know. The goal is not just to get a cam down, it's to keep it alive for as long as possible so you have constant info. If your cams are getting shot instantly, your cam spot sucks. Get better spots, please. That's my tip.
Hey guys, I'm back. There's another shield op, so you know I'm gonna be the one talking about it. Up next we have Blitz. While playing shields, one of the hardest things is just closing the distance between people without dying, and Blitz kind of has a smaller shield compared to other shield operators. Like, his shoulders are very visible, and then also his feet while you're trying to walk. Now if you're crouching, you can look down at the ground and it will actually cover your feet as you're walking, and this will make it so that people can't be shooting your little twitsies. Now just be careful with this, because if you do get too close to them, you're going to be exposing your shoulders, and so you just have to use this at the right distance. And then the last thing for Blitz, I'm showing you. Look, his flash actually only goes about like 6 or 7 meters, so make sure that you're close enough, otherwise you're just wasting it for nothing, and then you're going to flash them and they're not going to be blinded, and then you're just going to die because you suck. I said because you suck.
This tip for Mira is pretty well known, but I feel like it's very underutilized. You can place a C4 on the outside of a Mira window, inside a soft wall, and catch attackers completely off guard. This works best early in the game, like first or second round on defense, when people are not expecting it, but once you do it once, don't try and do it again. It's probably not going to work. But when attackers walk up and try to punch or deal with the Mira, you know, you're behind the Mira. You'll be able to see them. And the second they commit to breaking your Mira, detonate the C4 for an easy kill. Simple, very effective if you time it right. Just make sure you don't break the soft wall on the outside. So for Azami, I've been wondering for the longest time how you actually make a pixel peek, because you always see clips where they're already set up and they just say it gives free kills. I'm just gonna show you exactly how it works, because I'm not trying to clickbait you, because I'm not a loser. First, crouch and place your Kiba barrier as low as possible while looking at the bottom of a soft wall. Line yourself up in the middle of the soft wall and then place the second Kiba. That gap you create in between is the pixel peek, obviously. If you need to go back for the reference points on where you need to aim exactly to drill it into your head, double tap the screen if you're on your phone. If you're on a TV, I'm so sorry. And for reference, obviously, this is facing barrels on Oregon. Once again, I put Vigil at the end. I hate, double hate. I hate you. Anyways, don't run with Vigil when his ability is active. You can be seen on cams. I know you don't know that because you guys ride the short bus. I at least sat at the back of the bus with Anne Frank. Anyways, reminder, don't run when your ability is activated unless you're getting groomed. I hope you do.
What's up, guys? It's Jay. I just wanted to say, if you did get to the end, genuinely, thank you. Thank you. This video took forever. I started this video on March 25th. It is now April 17th, where I'm finalizing it. Yeah, biggest project I ever made. I went the entire mile, not even mile, the whole marathon. My brain is absolutely chalked. So if you could watch this intro or outro that I made, because people usually click off the video, that'd be cool. We're gonna have an updated one soon, because I know after this video is uploaded, y'all don't understand. It's big. I'm so excited to see what happens with it. If it gets 7 views, I'm quitting. Thank you for watching.
Change